slap time.
10 chilling ghost photos you have to see. From a floating spectre in a crematorium to a man's soul escaping his body. Join us as we take a cautious peep at this collection of chilling ghost photos. This photo was taken in 2012. It's of a grandmother posing with her grandson. When the father of the young baby reviewed the photo, he was alarmed to see a figure wearing a collared shirt drifting behind his mother. After showing his neighbours the photo, they informed him that the previous owner's son had overdosed and died in the basement of the house. It was noted that the deceased son was an avid golfer, and if you look closely, it's as though the figure could be wearing a collared golf shirt. Also, if you look to the left of the frame, there appears to be another figure of a young girl. This could be the person taking the photo, but I don't think the angle is quite right. Is this just camera malfunction, or could this tall figure be the spirit of the previous owner's son? Pluckley has the honour of being known as one of the most haunted villages in England. Located in the Ashford district of Kent, this town has a reported 15 ghosts that haunt various parts of the village. One such place is Daring Woods, also known as Screaming Woods, named so because of the terrifying screams that are often heard by people passing by. This photo was taken by a Pluckley resident. They claim it's a ghost wandering the Screaming Woods. This photo was taken by a mother known only as Heather from Pennsylvania using her camera phone. It shows her son posing for the photo, but in the background there's a black-eyed face peering out from behind the young boy. On the 14th of July 2016, truck driver Sal Vasquez took this photo as he was passing an accident on the Bert T. Combs Mountain Parkway in eastern Kentucky. Just above the onlooking state troopers and paramedics appears to be a white shadow floating upwards. The unidentified man involved in the motorbike accident was taken to a nearby hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Vasquez posted the photo to his Facebook page later that day, leading many to speculate that the floating shadow was the man's soul escaping his body. Reddit user Liberty posted this picture of a foreclosed house in Milton, Florida. While browsing real estate listings, he noticed this strange image of what appears to be someone peering out of the window. After contacting the real estate agent, who assured him that it was a sealed foreclosed home and that no one was present the day the photo was taken, he decided to do some research. He discovered that the previous owner, an 81-year-old lady, had died in the house and had no close family. That's why the home went into foreclosure in the first place. So who or what is hiding inside this house? This chilling image of an early 20th century family sitting by a Christmas tree seems to have no solid origin. It's clear that some sort of apparition is floating in the top right hand corner, but is it just a case of some clever photoshopping? If anyone has any information on this photo, please let us know in the comments section below. Point Pinos Lighthouse, built in 1855, is the oldest continuously running lighthouse in the west coast of the United States. It is said to be haunted by the spirit of the first lighthouse keeper, Charles Layton, who was murdered by notorious outlaw Anastasio Garcia. Employees often report objects going missing or moving about on their own, doors banging and strange noises. In 2012, Reddit user Ruff the Suspect posted this photo taken in one of the museum rooms in Point Pinos Lighthouse. He said that a friend took the photo certain that no one else was in the room. In the center of the reflection is the photographer wearing white shoes, while to the left is a striking image of a man wearing a cap. The figure is strangely vivid, while the person taking the photo is less visible. Could this be the spirit of murdered lighthouse keeper Charles Layton? This photo often pops up in ghost forums with very little information attached. Some say the photo itself is haunted and can cause people to pass out or even die just from viewing it. The visceral image is certainly unsettling, but after doing some research we discovered it's from a 1990 film titled Begotten. Directed by E. Ilias Mahig, this experimental horror film depicts the story of Genesis. Now, even though this is a work of fiction, we've added it to the list because calling this film creepy is an absolute understatement. If you're curious, there's a link in the description box below. This photo was taken in 1943 in Kapos Führed, Hungary by a husband taking a still of his wife. In the background is a girl in a dress with no arms and no discernible face. Creepier still, there is a disembodied leg jutting out from behind the man's wife. What is going on in this image? The more I look at the girl in the white dress, the creepier this image gets. She's clearly facing the camera but has no arms or face. This chilling ghost photo began circulating the internet in 2014. When this lady took a selfie with her daughter, she swears they were the only two people in the room. When she later reviewed the photo, she was stunned at the eerie figure in the background. It appears to be a young girl floating, looking lifelessly at the camera. If you look closely, the right side of her face looks bloated. The photo scared the lady so much that she hired a paranormal investigator and looked into the history of the house. She discovered that the house had once been a fully functioning crematorium and would have housed hundreds of dead bodies. Holy balls, the dead are rising from their graves. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you're enjoying the content, hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get this video to 1500 likes. And if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe, because we have content just like this coming out each and every week. And this is the Schlapperm signing off.
Schlapperm.
10 famous people that mysteriously vanished. From legendary big band leader Glenn Miller to infamous union boss Jimmy Hoffa, we take a look at 10 famous people that mysteriously disappeared. Big band leader Glenn Miller was pronounced missing in action on December 15, 1944 when his plane disappeared en route to France. Miller, who was 38 at the time, was the best-selling recording artist from 1939 to 1943. He persuaded the United States Army to draft him into service to lead a band on tour to boost the morale of the serving troops in World War II. Miller was on his way to Paris, France when his plane vanished in bad weather. Several theories attempted to explain his mysterious disappearance, including a faulty carburetor and even the idea that a returning Allied bomber may have hit Miller's aircraft with a jettisoned bomb unused from a failed German bombing raid. Australian Prime Minister Harold Holt mysteriously disappeared while swimming at Cheviot Beach near Portsea, Victoria, Australia. Holt was with several others, including his neighbour and rumoured lover Marjorie Gillespie. They were there to see British yachtsman Alex Rose sail through the Port Phillip Heads when he decided to go for a swim in choppy conditions. Shortly after entering the water, Holt disappeared from view, prompting his companions to call for help. The following search, which included the Royal Australian Navy, Air Force and local volunteers, was one of the largest search operations in Australia's history. The fact that Holt was a very experienced swimmer led some to suggest that Holt's disappearance was an elaborate cover-up. One theory suggested that Holt was a Russian spy and he was picked up off the coast by a Soviet submarine. To this day, Holt's disappearance remains a mystery. At 2:50 PM on the 24th of November 1971, a man using the alias Dan D.B. Cooper hijacked a Boeing 727 en route to Seattle, Washington from Portland, Oregon. Cooper passed a note to a flight attendant declaring he had a bomb and was hijacking the aircraft. His note detailed his demands, which included $200,000 in US currency, 4 parachutes and a refueling truck awaiting their arrival in Seattle. The airline authorized the ransom, which was delivered to the plane upon landing in Seattle. All passengers and non-essential crew were released before D.B. Cooper instructed the plane to take off and fly south towards Mexico City. Shortly after takeoff, the crew, who were instructed to remain in the cockpit with the door closed, noticed a change in cabin pressure, indicating that one of the aircraft's doors may have been opened. The aircraft landed in Reno, Nevada for refueling, where an armed search by authorities revealed Cooper was no longer on board. It is believed that Cooper jumped out of the aircraft with the ransom, and while FBI authorities initially thought there was no way he could have survived the jump, no conclusive evidence that he died has ever been found. In 1981, a young boy vacationing with his family near Vancouver, Washington, found 3 packets of money washed along the riverbank that was later confirmed to have been given to Cooper. The rest of the ransom was never recovered, leading to speculation that Cooper may have successfully parachuted to the ground safely. Despite an exhausting manhunt, the incident remains the only unsolved case of air piracy in American history. The case still remains open to this day. Richie Edwards, member of the rock band Manic Street Preachers, disappeared on the 1st of February 1995, shortly before he was due to head to the US on a promotional tour. The circumstances of his disappearance were certainly mysterious, with several strange details uncovered in the subsequent police investigation. Firstly, Edwards was found to have withdrawn £200 a day every day in the 2 weeks prior to his disappearance. On the 1st of February, he checked out of the Embassy Hotel in London and drove to his apartment in Cardiff, Wales. Some days later, he was spotted in the Newport Passport Office and the Newport Bus Station. On the 7th of February, a taxi driver reported picking up Edwards from outside the King's Hotel in Newport, then driving him to Blackwood, which was Edwards' home as a child. On the 14th of February, Edwards' car, a Vauxhall Cavalier, was discovered abandoned at the Seven View service station. The battery was flat and there was evidence that the car had been lived in. Initially, it was thought that the rock star may have taken his own life, as the car was discovered in close proximity to the Severn Bridge, a well-known suicide location. In the years following his disappearance, Edwards was reportedly spotted in the Canary Islands and even in a marketplace in Goa, India. Despite several sightings, Edwards was officially declared missing, presumed dead, on the 23rd of November 2008, even though his body was never found. Perhaps the most well-known missing person in history is Jimmy Hoffa. Hoffa was the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Union from 1958 to 1971 and was heavily implicated in organised crime and affiliation with the mob. Convicted of jury tampering, fraud and attempted bribery, Hoffa served 4 of the 13-year sentence after agreeing to resign as president of the union, which was part of a pardon agreement with President Nixon. Jimmy Hoffa vanished in July 1975 after last being seen outside the Macca's Red Fox restaurant in Detroit, Michigan. Since his mysterious disappearance, several mob hitmen have come forward claiming to have killed him, but no one has ever been charged. His remains were even rumoured to have been buried under tons of concrete during construction at Giants Stadium in New Jersey. Jean Spangler, a small-part movie and TV actress, disappeared on October 7, 1949. The part-time model and dancer vanished after telling her sister-in-law she was heading out to meet with her former husband to discuss a late child support payment, and then heading to a studio to film a night shoot for a movie. Her ex-husband told police that he had not seen her the night of the disappearance, and his new wife claimed he was with her the whole night. 2 days after Spangler's disappearance, her purse was found near Griffith Park in Los Angeles. Inside, police discovered a mysterious note addressed to a man named Kirk that read, "Can't wait any longer, going to see Dr. Scott. It'll work best this way while mother is away." The note, ending with a comma, seemed to be unfinished. An exhaustive police search failed to uncover the identity of Kirk or the mysterious Dr. Scott. Friends of Spangler told police she was 3 months pregnant and considering getting an abortion, which was illegal at the time. To this day, Jean Spangler remains listed as a missing person. Okay, so this one's not about the disappearance of a famous person, but rather the disappearance of some infamous cargo. In March 1956, a Boeing B-47 Stratojet bomber disappeared over the Mediterranean Sea while travelling from MacDill Air Force Base in Florida to the Ben Guerir Air Force Base in Morocco. Aboard the plane were 3 US Air Force personnel and 2 nuclear warheads. Despite exhaustive searching, the warheads were never recovered. Frank Morris was the alleged ringleader of a group of men who famously escaped from Alcatraz prison on June 11, 1962. Using tools stolen from the prison yard, the men slowly widened the ventilation ducts in their cells, creating an escape tunnel that led to the roof of their cells. Here the men created a makeshift workshop where they fashioned life preservers from stolen raincoats, and even a raft from discarded rubber sealed together from the heat of the steam pipes. On the night of June 11th, the men left their cells, placing papier-mâché heads that they had created in their beds as decoys. The men made their way down to the water where they used the makeshift raft to escape. Despite no bodies ever being found, the authorities asserted that it was extremely unlikely the men survived the frigid and turbulent waters. However, in 2011, an 89-year-old man named Bud Morris, who claimed to be the cousin of Frank Morris, said he had delivered bribes to the guards prior to the daring escape. More amazingly, Bud Morris claimed to have met with Frank in a San Diego park shortly after the escape. His daughter, who was 8 at the time, corroborated the story, saying she remembered meeting with Dad's friend Frank. Famous female pilot Amelia Earhart vanished on July 2, 1937 while flying over the Pacific Ocean attempting to circumnavigate the globe. Earhart lost radio contact near Howland Island and a large search of the surrounding area was soon conducted by the US Navy. Soon after her disappearance, several theories surfaced suggesting that she may have been taken prisoner by the Japanese. One such rumour was fueled by the fact that soon after her disappearance, the Japanese released the Mitsubishi A6M Zero fighter aircraft, which had several strikingly similar components to the aircraft Earhart was flying at the time she disappeared. It was also suggested that she was a spy sent to report on the Japanese, and that she survived the flight, changed her name and moved to New Jersey. The Babushka Lady is the name given to the mysterious woman who was present at the assassination of JFK on November 22, 1963 in Dallas, Texas. In several photographs taken by other eyewitnesses, the Babushka Lady can be seen videotaping the assassination within meters of the motorcade. Unusually, the photos show the woman acting very calmly as she continues filming, despite the surrounding eyewitnesses fleeing in panic. Despite exhaustive investigations, neither the woman nor the video footage has ever been officially located. Well that's perplexing. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you've got some interesting theories about these disappearances, let us know in the comments section below. We'd love to read them. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, it really helps us out.
And this is the Slapperm signing off.
How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at demon photos. From a demon man spotted throughout Brazil to a creepy creature stalking the halls of a hospital. Join us as we take a look at 10 demon photos you just have to see. This photo was taken sometime in the late 90s at a wedding reception in Aurora, Minnesota. The couple in the photo, Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, claim they didn't notice anything strange about the photo until 8 years after it was taken. There in the background is a strange dog-like face just above the left shoulder of Mr. Martinez. The couple said there was no dog at the reception and were baffled by the image. Mr. Martinez, who was battling drug addiction at the time, claims the photo was an omen. He took the photo as a sign to stop drug abuse, believing this was some kind of demon clinging to him. He now carries this photo around with him, reminding people of evil that can be found in this world. Photography experts examined the photo and determined that it hadn't been tampered with in any way, concluding that the dog must have been present the day the photo was taken. Whether the dog is demonic or not remains a topic of fierce debate on social media and forums today. When this photo was submitted to Reddit in 2012, the forum went into a frenzy of speculation. What's now known as the Wisconsin Trail Cam mystery, this startling image has baffled analysts for years. The shambling creature seems to be wearing tattered rags with a hood draped over its hunched shoulders. Some have noted the footprints running across the ground as if the beast is tracking them. There's been no reasonable explanation for this image. Opinions range from a demon to a zombie or even a lost soul forced to eternally wander the woods. Some have said that it's a smear on the lens of the camera or just a person with a sheet draped over them. Whatever the case may be, this is one of the most baffling demon photos ever taken. In late 2015, unusual photos began appearing in Brazil. People all over the country were reporting sightings of a strange demon-like man. Some even described the creature as a werewolf. The sightings occurred in different cities around the country all around the same time. One witness said they saw a strong-looking creature running fast along the building tops. Residents even avoided going out at night during the spate of bizarre sightings. The photo on the right was captured by a young girl who was out with her father. They said they couldn't get a video of the creature as they were too scared. The photo appears to show a figure with bent legs similar to a goat with a strong upper torso. The other photo that surfaced shows a humanoid creature with pointy ears, a hunched back and giant arms. When the photos began circulating on social media, speculation ran rife. Viewers called the creature a demon, a werewolf and even a pixie man. Others were quick to dismiss the pictures as hoax Photoshop jobs. Officials were unable to explain the string of strange sightings. There's not a lot of solid information about this photo. In the picture we see two young boys who have taken an innocent selfie, but what they accidentally caught in the photo will give you chills. Take a look at the bottom right hand corner. There appears to be a little girl or demonic doll staring menacingly at the camera. It has long black hair and a gaunt, twisted face. It's hard to verify this one as there's next to no information available. It could quite easily have been staged or photoshopped as the quality and lighting of the image is extremely low. What do you think is going on in this photo? Is it simply a fake or were these boys visited by a demonic doll? When this woman took an innocent selfie in the mirror, she couldn't have known the chilling image that would develop. Uploaded to Imager in 2016 with the caption, "Please tell me that's your shy daughter." This sinister photo whipped paranormal enthusiasts into a frenzy. Behind the woman's left shoulder is a demonic face with glowing eyes and a slight grin. The two skin tones don't match, and the look in the eye of the second figure is really off-putting. The woman who took the photo has never come forward, so it's hard to verify the authenticity. It could be a very well-timed photobomb, a Photoshop job, or it could be something far more sinister. When this photo was shared to Facebook in January 2017, it set the internet alight with rumours. Allegedly, Phoenix resident Richard Christensen took this mysterious photo while walking through Tucson, Arizona. In the photo is a winged figure that looks to be at least 10 feet tall. Christensen uploaded the image to his Facebook account on New Year's Day with the caption, "What the hell do you see in this picture for reals, anybody?" The photo quickly went viral, with news outlets, social media and forums all speculating on what was captured in the image. Some Christian news sites were quick to call the figure a demon and that it's the sign of the apocalypse. Others, however, are a little more cautious in their assessment of the image, saying it could quite easily be a fake, with some claiming it to be nothing more than a palm tree in the distance. Legendary debunking website Snopes.com allegedly reached out to Christensen for comment, but he declined to provide further information. What do you think? Is this a demon signalling the end of days, or is it just a viral hoax? Let us know in the comments section below. This photo was taken by a mother known only as Heather from Pennsylvania using her camera phone. It shows her son posing for a photo, but in the background there's a demonic face with black eyes peering out from behind the boy. The mother claims there was definitely no one behind her son when the photo was taken. What is going on in this picture? Was this boy visited by a demon? This photo of a demon creature lurking in a cave has been floating around the internet since the mid-90s. It's puzzled viewers for decades. With each passing year, the photo seems to pick up new details in a sort of mass game of Chinese whispers. With this in mind, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. The story goes that two boys were exploring a cave in Ras Al Khaimah, United Arab Emirates. As they went deeper into the cave, they heard the terrified screams of another person. As the cave was near pitch black, they decided to take a photo, using the flash of the camera to light up the cave for a second to see their surroundings. The flash went off, bright white light filling the cave. The two boys saw a demon-like creature clinging to the rocky wall. They ran as fast as they could out of the cave, alerting authorities about their encounter. The next day, local police searched the cave and discovered the remains of a young man partially eaten. The following week, the two boys returned to England. They contacted the local newspaper, the Bournemouth Advertiser, and told them of their ordeal. The journalist running the story checked the roll of film and discovered this image. Just like the boys described, there was a small demon creature clinging to the wall of the cave. The article attracted international attention, and since then the photo has become infamous. Experts, however, claim that the photo was a hoax, saying the creature is nothing more than a statue placed in the cave to spook tourists. Others believe the photo to be genuine, citing it as evidence of demons that live among us in caves and shadows, lurking closer than you might ever think. In 2014, two UK women took a Halloween selfie that would haunt them forever. After uploading this photo to Snapchat, Kaylee Atkinson rang her friend Victoria Greaves and told her to take a closer look at the photo they had taken earlier that evening. In the background is a demonic face staring straight at the camera. It has a strange pale complexion and an eerie grin. The picture scared both girls so much that they immediately deleted the image from their phones. The two girls were certain that no one was behind them when the photo was taken. Could these two girls have been visited by a demon? This creepy photo has been doing the social media rounds since around 2014. It's hard to verify the source of the image, as it's been shared so many times it's become somewhat of a creepypasta. The most common story attached to this photo is that a nurse in a hospital took a screenshot of a security camera that was monitoring patients in the ward. She claims that she saw a demon-like figure walking up and down one particular patient's bed. It had long black legs and eerie slender fingers. When she went to the ward to check on the patient, there was no figure in the room. However, the patient's vitals began declining rapidly and the person passed away shortly after. Folklore often tells of strange sightings in hospitals, dark figures lurking in the periphery, perhaps waiting to take the souls of the recently deceased. When the photo went viral across social media, debunkers got to work analysing the image. As the quality of the original photo is low, it's hard to break the image down. One commentator thought that it's merely a series of objects compiled together on a strange angle that gives the effect of a lurking creature, while others believe the image to be genuine, saying that this could actually be evidence of a demon collecting the souls of the sick and frail.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button? We do videos just like this each and every week. If you've been around a little while, hit that bell icon so you get notifications about all our latest content. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some really chilling photos. From shadow people warning of future tragic events to a ghostly figure caught on camera on an Xbox Kinect. Join us as we take a look at 12 mysterious shadow people that can't be explained.
When these three women had their photo taken out the front of their home, they couldn't have known the chilling image that would develop. Behind the three ladies, you can see what looks like the shadow of a man wearing a hat. If you look closely, you can see that the shadow figure has placed a hand on the shoulder of the woman on the left. It is said that 3 days after this photo was taken, the woman died in a horrible car accident. The photographer claims that there was certainly no hatted man standing behind the woman when the photograph was taken, and is simply baffled by the image. Perhaps this strange shadow appeared as a sort of omen, foreshadowing the tragic events that would unfold just 3 days later. This is allegedly a photo of a shadow figure that haunts the shores of Pawleys Island, South Carolina. For decades, residents have reported sightings of a strange shadowy man that appears on the beach right before severe storms and natural disasters. They say he comes as a premonition for the local people, warning them of impending danger. Legends say that the Grey Man is the ghost of a young traveller who tragically died many years ago. They say he was on his way to see his fiancée when he got caught in quicksand in the marshland that once surrounded Pawleys Island. Now his shadow is left behind, forced to eternally wander in search of his lost love. Couple Jim and Clara Moore claim they saw the Grey Man on the beach the day before Hurricane Hugo battered the region in 1989. They said they saw a strange legless man down on the beach. When they called out to him, the figure vanished from sight. The following day, the Category 5 storm hit shore, causing more than $7 billion worth of damage. When the Moores were allowed to return home, they found their house completely intact. However, the neighbours on all sides had their homes obliterated by the raging storm. The Moores swear that the Grey Man appeared as an omen, warning them of the catastrophe that was yet to take place. They feel they were blessed by the spirit who spared them from the storm. This is some very creepy footage uploaded to a channel on YouTube called Faceless Nights. In it, we see a gamer setting up his Xbox Kinect while testing a live stream. He browses a few options, changes a few vision modes, but when he changes to night vision mode, he captures something truly terrifying. On the right of screen, you can clearly see a shadow person lurking in the rear of the room. The figure almost looks like it's wearing a black robe. It has long, slender fingers and a strange floating quality to it. The entity darts off screen as soon as it notices it's visible on camera. The guy filming looks very startled as he double checks the room for anything resembling the strange black spectre. When the video went live, it quickly got spread around social media, racking up nearly 2 million views. Skeptics thought that there were jump cuts edited into the clip, but as Faceless Nights explains in another video, the Kinect changes aspect ratio every time a new vision mode is used, so it looks as though things move on the desk or the person changes position. Faceless Nights doesn't have an explanation for what he captured, but he fervently denies that he tampered with the footage in any way. With this encounter in mind, how creepy is the tagline, "What else does Kinect see?" This photo was taken in Alcatraz, a former prison complex often cited to be one of the most haunted locations in the US. Visitors to Alcatraz often report strange phenomena while touring the site. They feel cold spots, hear whispers in empty rooms, and often experience inexplicable feelings of despair or rage. People claim to see shadows moving and cell doors opening on their own. When photographer Glenn Shelton took this strange photo, he believed it to be definitive proof that the prison complex is haunted by otherworldly beings. While the photo doesn't depict a shadow person as such, it has captured a long black shroud of some kind. It has many of the properties that witnesses report when seeing shadow people. If you look, the object doesn't seem to react to lighting in the same way the other parts of the building do, and it has a sort of misty or smoky quality to it. Could this be the spirit of a former inmate who is now forced to eternally linger in limbo among the dark halls of Alcatraz? This photo was taken in the attic of an unknown restaurant in the US. For over a decade, employees reported strange sightings in the roof of the restaurant. They say they've seen shadows lurking, felt nauseous for no apparent reason, as well as had feelings of dread wash over them. Finally, one employee took a photo when they felt they were being watched. Later that night, when reviewing the photos, they spotted this ominous shadow figure. It has the clear outline of a head and shoulders, but its lower body looks almost like vapor and lacks any real definition. When co-workers saw the image, they all agreed that this is the shadow entity they had all seen over the years. This is some strange footage that was captured live on The Larry King Show. Live on air, CNN is doing a tour of Michael Jackson's home in Neverland shortly after he passed away. As the camera crew walk around the house, a shadow figure can be seen passing quickly down the end of the hallway. It looks to be a lurching, transparent presence, as though it's the shadow of someone walking by. This footage has been seen by millions of people, and some say it's the ghost of Michael himself. Skeptics claim it's nothing more than a shadow of one of the film crew or staff that can't be seen on that angle. Others say that it's impossible for a person to cast that quick-moving shadow without being seen. Whatever the case may be, it makes for some very compelling footage, one that has captured the attention of millions of people. There's not a lot of solid information about these two photos. They often appear in ghost investigation forums, but no one seems to know their origins. The two photos, presumably taken one after the other, show a smoky black entity hovering in the middle of the room. The first photo looks like it has thin, outstretched arms as though it's about to grab at someone. Plumes of a strange, translucent aura seem to waft up towards the roof. The second image looks as though it's caught the moment the shadow is disappearing, almost as though it's been blown by the wind and is vaporizing into nothing. Could these photos be some kind of glitch, or have they captured something far more sinister? Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky is one of the most notorious asylums in America. Built in 1910, the hospital was used to house patients suffering from tuberculosis during what was considered an outbreak of the White Plague. At the time, there was no known cure for the disease, which was mostly treated with plenty of fresh air and sunshine. However, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium was also tasked with finding more effective measures to fight the infectious disease. Controversial methods were tested, with some patients having their ribs removed and their lungs inflated with makeshift balloons. It's thought that many thousands of patients died at the sanatorium. The death toll grew so high that the facility was forced to build an underground tunnel, affectionately known as the Death Chute, that would be used to ferry hundreds of diseased corpses to a nearby railway station. Some estimate that as many as 64,000 patients died at Waverly Hills over the years. Visitors today often report the echoed calls of children singing down the long abandoned hallways. Cold spots are often experienced, and an ominous feeling of being watched is ever present. This photo was taken by an intrepid explorer who decided to visit the hospital alone. He said that nothing particularly unusual took place while he walked around the facility. However, when he reviewed his photos later that night, he noticed something very strange. In one image, a black entity can be seen obscuring the lens of the camera. It lacks definition and is devoid of any light whatsoever. It looks like it has a head and body and is perhaps moving away from the camera. The man is certain that no one else was around as he was exploring the old hospital alone. The owner of this home kept telling her kids that she was seeing a strange shadow person out the corner of her eyes. She said she always felt uncomfortable in certain rooms and thought she was being watched by some unseen force. Her kids would often laugh it off, telling her that she's going mad. That was until this creepy photo was taken on Thanksgiving Day some years ago. Prior to lunch being served, the daughter was taking photos of her boyfriend sitting at the table. This is what she captured. It shows a very tall, dark entity dominating the hallway. The edges of the figure look smoky and translucent, while the center appears to be devoid of all light. When the mother saw the photograph, she almost cried. She said that's the exact spirit she keeps seeing out the corner of her eye. What do you think this is? Is this house haunted by some unseen force or shadow spirit that's making itself known to this poor family? The Hat Man is one of the most creepy and pernicious sightings of the Shadow People. A tall, slender male presence is often reported by people all around the world. They say a shadowy figure watches them sleep, and it always has a wide-brimmed hat on. Thousands of individual sightings have been described by people from all walks of life, yet somehow they all characterize the same figure. This photo was captured by a woman who was dozing in her bed in 2017. She was listening to a podcast and felt herself drifting off to sleep. Suddenly, she felt a dark, ominous presence in the room and glanced over to the window. She claims that a tall figure with a hat was standing by her bed, watching intently. She grabbed her phone and took a quick photo, but realized there was no one else in the room. When she looked at the photo, she couldn't believe what she saw. Indeed, there was a solid black entity standing in the room, wearing what looked like a top hat. There are several scientific explanations for shadow people sightings. People who suffer from sleep paralysis often report being watched by shadow beings. They say dark entities enter the room and watch them sleep. Some neuroscientists suggest that these conditions cause the sufferer to wake in a heightened emotional state, which can cause mild hallucination, in this case moving shadows. The most striking aspect about this phenomenon is that the reports are also congruent. They all describe almost the exact same thing, a dark, ominous figure that likes to watch people sleep. The Hat Man is the most troubling of all because it's such an oddly specific sighting. How is it that thousands of people all around the world all characterize the Hat Man exactly the same? The Queen Mary is reported to be one of the most haunted ships in America. Guests and tourists often claim they see and hear things they can't quite explain. The ship even runs its own ghost tours on board, showing paranormal enthusiasts parts of the vessel that are normally off limits to regular visitors. Legends say that one of the staterooms of the ship is haunted by a man who was allegedly murdered there, while staff and crew have given first-person accounts of a little girl who stalks the long hallways of the ship. They say the girl tragically drowned in the A-class passenger swimming pool back when the ship served as a luxury liner. This photo was taken on board the Queen Mary sometime in 2008. It shows a robust, shadowy figure that resembles the infamous Hat Man that we just talked about. Again, the center of the entity is devoid of light and the edges are like vapor. Many consider this photo one of the best pieces of evidence that the Queen Mary is indeed haunted. This photo was posted to a ghost investigation forum with a chilling story attached. Late one night, Michelle was up cleaning her fish tank when she noticed someone standing in the other room. At first she thought it was her husband and simply dismissed it, saying, "What's the matter, dear? Can't sleep?" When she turned and looked at the person standing in the next room, she went completely cold and nearly fainted. Standing in the room was the clear outline of her ex-husband who had died of cancer several years earlier. Michelle panicked and closed her eyes. When she opened them again, the spirit had gone. In a fit of panic, she ran upstairs and told her husband what had happened, but he assured her that it was nothing to worry about. Several weeks later, Michelle's in-laws were visiting, so she decided to take some photos. When she reviewed the photos later that night, she went numb at what she saw. In the photo, behind her mother-in-law was a shadowy figure lurking in the corner of the room. It was exactly like the figure she saw just weeks earlier. Did Michelle capture the shadow form of her ex-husband? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Now remember to follow us on all our other socials. The links are just below me here. Remember to turn on channel notifications here on YouTube as well so you don't miss our freshest content. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.
Ham.
5 ghosts caught on CCTV. From a centuries-old headless drummer boy to a terrifying poltergeist attack, join us as we take a look at 5 pieces of ghostly CCTV footage. This is some footage of a man filming an airport runway. When he glances down at the road, his camera captures something off-putting. Whatever was captured disappears. The creepy thing is that it triggers the CCTV camera to spin around and look at the window where the figure was. This is some CCTV footage taken in October 2013 at Jimmy's World Grill and Bar. It shows a woman finishing a meal then getting up to pay. Once she leaves, something weird happens at her table. Dover Castle in Kent, England is reportedly haunted by several ghosts. Workers and security guards often report disembodied screams coming from the castle ramparts. The halls are said to be haunted by a headless drummer boy who was brutally murdered many centuries ago. Here's some footage taken in August 2009 at one of the gates to the castle. Some kind of dark figure floats across the screen then disappears. Moments later, a security guard rushes to the scene but is dumbfounded by the experience. This is some CCTV footage taken at the Carlisle Castle Hotel in Newtown, Sydney, Australia. When owner Peter Bradbury noticed strange things happening around the bar, such as glasses smashing and wine falling off the shelves, he decided to review the security camera footage. What it captured is truly startling. A security camera in a Malaysian hotel has captured a terrifying encounter. The first camera shows an armchair sliding on its own, then a door violently slamming shut. The footage then cuts to a woman sitting alone in a room. What happens next is terrifying. Fresh pantalones, please. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you've got any interesting theories about these pieces of footage, let us know in the comments section below. We'd love to hear them. Remember to hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get this video to 1,000 likes. And this is the Slapped Ham shining off.
Slapped Ham.
5 ghostly spirits caught on camera. From a man getting possessed in a convenience store to a poltergeist tearing an office apart. Join us as we take a look at 5 pieces of creepy ghost footage caught on CCTV. There's very little information available about this video. If anyone knows anything, please let us know in the comments section below. A CCTV camera shows a car driving through a parking lot. Then it seems to hit some kind of shadowy figure, then stops suddenly. The passengers get out of the car to see what they hit, but there's nothing there. Here's some shocking footage caught on CCTV. It appears to show a man being possessed by a demon or spirit. It's easy to dismiss this footage as a man having some kind of seizure, but watch closely as something reflects off the glass door, then things inexplicably fall off the shelf. This is some security footage taken in an unknown grocery store. It shows a shopping trolley eerily wheel across the room. At first it's easy to think that someone's just pushed the trolley off camera, but then it turns and wheels up a ramp all on its own. Located in Bolton in Greater Manchester, the Ye Old Man and Scythe pub is one of the oldest public houses in England, built way back in 1251. On the morning of February 14th, 2014, the owner discovered a broken glass on the floor of the bar. When he went to check the CCTV footage, he noticed that it had stopped filming at 6:18 AM that morning. This is what the security camera captured up until that time. If you look closely, you can see what appears to be a hooded man standing at the bar. During the night of November 1st, 2012 at the Castlefield House in Manchester, CCTV footage captured some terrifying events. As guards reviewed the security tapes, they witnessed some kind of poltergeist rip through the office building. It's almost as though the entity suddenly leaves. Then everything in the office returns to normal. I might just hide under my bed for the next 10 hours. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you're enjoying the spooky content, hit that thumbs up button. Now, what do you think? Are these videos proof of an afterlife, or are they just fake? Let us know in the comment section below. And this is the Slap Time shining off.
Slap Time.
5 pieces of shocking ghost footage caught on security camera. Have these security cameras captured proof of ghosts? From a strange blue spirit floating around a gas station to a terrifying poltergeist attack. Join us as we take a look at 5 pieces of shocking ghost footage caught on security camera. In 2007, a security camera at a gas station in Palmer, Ohio captured something very unusual floating around the petrol pumps. Both workers and patrons are stunned at the footage, unable to explain whether this is a ghost caught on camera or not. Here's some footage taken by a security camera in a Japanese car park. It shows several cars driving past when a mysterious ghost figure appears out of nowhere, then vanishes just as quickly as it materialized. This security camera in a Blockbuster video store in Mexico has captured something very eerie. At night, employees often report that an unknown force has blown air on their necks or pushed them in the back. This footage shows one such employee experiencing some kind of paranormal activity. There are very few details about this CCTV footage supposedly filmed at some kind of IT park. It shows a man walking down a hallway, but what happens after that is absolutely chilling. This security camera captures a hooded man walking down a hallway, but what happens next is the stuff of nightmares. It would appear some kind of spirit or demon appears out of nowhere and pushes the man to the ground, then drags him down the hallway. The entity then vanishes as the man runs for his life. Hey, remember to check under your bed for demons, because that's where they like to lurk. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you really want to help us out, hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get this video to 1,500 likes. And this is the Slap Ham signing off.
Slap Ham.
5 feet.
Slap Ham.
5 most haunted forests in the world. From disembodied cries in the night to a headless statue that bleeds. Join us as we explore 5 of the most haunted forests in the world. This abandoned cemetery in Brunswick, New York is the center of many urban legends. Established in 1897 by a group of wealthy businessmen, it was intended to be a place of respite for urban dwellers, featuring a large forest expanse and winding trails. Due to financial difficulty, the grounds went into disrepair, becoming completely abandoned by 1975. Known by locals as the Gateway to Hell, many say they've felt unusual cold spots, heard children laughing in the shadows, and felt something push them in the back. Deep in the forest there is a headless angel statue that some say bleeds from the neck during the night. A taxicab driver from the nearby town of Troy told local historian Judy Rowe that one night he picked up a young girl in a party dress out the front of the Emma Willard School. She asked to be driven down Pinewoods Avenue, but as they drove past the cemetery, she vanished without a trace. Pluckley has the honour of being known as one of the most haunted villages in England. Located in the Ashford district of Kent, this town has a reported 15 ghosts that haunt various parts of the village. One such place is Daring Woods, also known as the Screaming Woods, named so because of the terrifying screams that are often heard by people passing by. A famous ghost reported to haunt the woods is that of the highwayman that was killed by police in the 18th century. Legends say that a ghostly reenactment takes place on still nights when you can see the highwayman getting pinned by a sword to a giant oak tree. His tormented screams filling the forest for all to hear. Here's an image taken by a Pluckley resident. They claim it's a ghost wandering the Screaming Woods. Located in rural Oxfordshire, this dark forest is known for many mysterious happenings. Locals have reported being touched or pushed by unknown forces. There are reports of whispers and screams and children crying, all coming from thin air. Some tourists have said they've felt nauseous the further they go into the woods. Others have heard the wild neighing of horses, and some claim to have seen a ghostly horse-drawn cart with 2 small children crying in the back. Deep in the forest is a tree that supposedly creates feelings of dread for those who visit. Thought to be a hanging tree where criminals met their end, there's been a reported shadowy figure lurking in the area. People say they feel like they're being watched or followed whenever they're near this particular tree. Locals warn all tourists not to go into the woods alone. Known as the Sea of Trees or Suicide Forest, this is one of the world's most popular destinations for suicide. Located along the northwest base of Mount Fuji, this dense forest is full of gnarled trees and rocky caverns. There is a striking lack of wildlife, making the forest floor eerily quiet. Some sections have been known to be pitch black even at midday due to thick, overhanging vegetation. Hiking equipment such as compasses and some GPS have been known to spin out of control due to the high mineral content in the volcanic soil. It is here in this dark, forbidding maze that many come to die. Aokigahara has a notoriously high suicide rate and is often associated with yurei, a term Japanese mythology uses to describe angry spirits of the dead. Those visiting the park are confronted by many signs placed by the Japanese government, urging suicidal visitors to contact a local suicide prevention association. Since 1970, annual body searches have been conducted to find those who've taken their own lives. Statistically, around 30 bodies are found every year, with a record high of 105 bodies found in 2003. The most common form of suicide is hanging or drug overdose. Many attribute the disturbing trend to Seicho Matsumoto's 1960 novel Kuroi Jikai, or Black Sea of Trees, in which two lovers take their own lives in the forest. However, many cases of suicide were reported long before the novel's publication. Legends tell of a disturbing practice taking place in the forest well into the 19th century. Known as ubasute, or abandoning a parent, locals would lead their elderly parents into the woods where they would die a slow death by exposure and starvation. Practiced as a form of euthanasia in times of drought and famine, it was seen as a way to free up resources by reducing the population, though many historians doubt the ritual was ever practiced en masse. Many tourists now visit the site with hopes of encountering the paranormal or discovering human remains. Some claim they've seen faces in the shadows, while others say they've heard tormented screams of spirits left to wander the forest floor. Whatever it is they're looking for, it appears as though this ancient forest is calling out to people, drawing them in, never to return. Known as the most haunted forest in the world, this bizarre location is thought to be a gateway to another dimension. Located west of the city of Cluj-Napoca, this haunted forest is home to a whole host of paranormal sightings, including glowing orbs, disembodied crying, UFO sightings, time loss, and poltergeist attacks. Locals say that as soon as they enter the forest, they feel unusually anxious and experience feelings of nausea. Many have reported being scratched, pushed, and even choked while walking in the woods. The forest itself is deformed, with its trees bending in all sorts of unusual shapes. GPS equipment and compasses often stop working, causing many people to become disorientated. The area gained international notoriety in 1960 when biologist Alexandru Sif took several photographs of a strange object hovering in the sky. Then in 1968, military technician Emil Barnier also took some startling images of what he claims is a flying saucer. From there, dozens of UFO sightings were reported well into the 1970s. Many believe the site is a gateway to another world. Villagers often report a loss of time while walking through Hoya Basayu. One famous story surrounds a 5-year-old girl who went missing after walking into the forest. The tale says she emerged 5 years later wearing the exact same clothes in pristine condition. She had no memory of what had happened and could not account for the huge loss of time. The majority of paranormal activity seems to occur around a strange clearing deep in the forest. Known as the Dead Zone, nothing grows in this almost perfect circle. Scientists have done tests on the soil but have found no conclusive evidence as to why nothing grows here. It is in this dead zone that many people have reported strange sightings of shadowy figures, glowing orbs, felt uncontrollable emotions, and heard chilling screams or crying. It is thought that this is the site of murdered Romanian peasants, whose souls are now trapped, forced to wander eternally through the twisted forest of Hoya Basayu. Clean up on aisle 5, I seem to have soiled myself. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you're enjoying the spooky content, hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get this video to 1,500 likes.
And this is the short term. Remember to subscribe. Slap time.